Welcome to Quips and Crits, another 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons podcast. In today's show, you will hear variant rules such as honor and madness checks, playable NPCs, proficiency dice, and brutal critical fails. Our talented cast of players are Sarah playing Tribute the Tiefling Paladin.
I don't know what color Tribute blush is because she's already pink. That was definitely happening when she left Saywood's office.
Katie playing Talos the Half-Orc Cleric.
Talos is actually kind of afraid of ghosts. Thank God he's a cleric and can turn undead.
Ransford playing Breeze the Tabaxi Bard.
You went for a swim?
Yes.
How'd it go?
That's not the point.
I'm sorry.
Alex playing Nikos the Eladrin Warlock.
Brace myself a bit, and I just lean over and I just let it go out. It's just like, ugh. I'm gonna have to do that again sometime.
Emily playing Cass the Half-Elf Fighter.
Well, since I have heroism, I feel like I'm not really thinking about beating a child.
And Courtney playing Adella the Water Genasi Druid.
Don't quite care, I guess. I'm Adella.
I'm Dan the DM.
That was just straight rum. I mean, I enjoy it, but I was not prepared for that to just be a mouthful of rum.
Let's get back to the game.
We'll come back around to that. Breeze, you're starting to stir from consciousness. Your lute is kind of sitting on your chest, and everyone's standing around you. Cass, you feel this wave of enthusiasm, of this heroic zeal to go forward and conquer, quickly sip away, like something stolen while someone isn't looking. And there is this twin telepathy that people think exists. You know, like when there's two twins, one can know what the other one is saying. And your heart is enraged. Your mind can sense fear. So I'll let you know. You do with that as you will. So having a mini where Kaz is kneeling is very fitting for this. With everyone standing around Breeze, Tribute is just gonna kind of look around, put her weapon back, and walk back to her seat. So standing around now is Talos, Cass, Nikos. It's the Talos and Nikos, the Kaz. Just these names are too similar. You're all getting nicknames next session. Yeah. And
Well, don't we look like twins?
perfection. It just absolutely the Eladrin and the orc. It's there.
You're half orc.
You're all
Fork,
just
actually, right?
Yep.
the fork.
No, the quarter orc, it's a quark.
Quark.
Yep.
I will adjust things as they need to be adjusted.
But are you an up cork or a down cork?
What we do know is that quark is not replaceable.
I'm actually a bottom. No, I'm kidding.
Oh. Now Breeze is interested.
So the night is more than settled. There's a lot of fires burning extra bright around, and there's still some of that large slab of tree bark that sits across some small pieces of wood that acts as like a sitting table on the ground. The Tabaxi have kind of left this small formed ring, and they're either going back to their meals, or they're going to clean themselves up, or clean up their meals. And basically, listen, when they go to their huts, it's what they do is their decision, not yours. And life seems to be returning to normality, the fun having been gone, and the excitement over. Breeze, you're able to pick yourself up. You're all standing around. Adella gets up and goes back to the hut.
Thanks for the help.
Turns around, gives you the finger.
First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna examine my loot for any damage.
Roll an investigation. Now this is the most important to be rolling in your dice box today.
That's 14, 12. So it's gonna be 16.
As you just kind of pluck at a few strings, you do notice that one of the strings has gone out of tune.
That's all.
That's it.
Okay.
You okay?
What happened? I remember getting hit. What happened after that?
You fell down. We all jumped in. And Red Claw got banished for trying to murder you.
Well, not all of us jumped in. Gonna stare pointedly at the hut Adella went into.
You guys saved me?
In a sense, yes.
Thanks.
Don't mention it.
So, Red Claw's banished?
Um,
Like, from the village permanently, or just disgraced?
I'm not sure.
You'd have to check more with Frisky on that one.
Okay. And, could we tell the kid was, Strength of Claw? Which one is it?
Strength of Claw.
It's Strength of Claw. He bared a very much physical resemblance, and I believe his name was said.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is Strength of Claw okay?
I'm currently investigating that.
Because if we kill that kid, I'm going to be really guilty. Because I actually like his dad.
There's no we in that semblance. I'm gonna leave and go check on
You
the
might
kid.
be surprised.
And I'm going to go to Cass and put my arm on her shoulder, kind of up above.
Forgot you're short.
Thank you for beating up that kid for me.
You're welcome.
Maybe next time don't knock him out all the way.
Well, Breeze, I gotta ask you something.
Yeah?
Why did you say my name? Like, I'm happy to help you, it's just,
What do you mean?
I mean...
You didn't agree to this?
Don't you narc. Don't you narc. Don't you narc.
What are you talking
I'm just
about?
kidding. Just do what you want to do.
Kaz told me that he spoke to you about this. And he said you volunteered.
He never spoke to me.
well, if it makes you feel any better, that kid caught the blood rage, so it was probably very dangerous.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
I'm
Nikos,
sure.
I gotta break it to you. Blood rage isn't a thing.
What?
Blood rage isn't a thing.
I was chased halfway across the town by a group of kittens and nobody told me until just now.
It was pretty funny.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad it was so hilarious. Okay, do you need any help beating your brother up?
I'm not gonna beat him up.
Did I give
Are you sure?
I'm 50% sure I'm not gonna beat him up at the moment.
Just 50%?
Can we pause this and check on the kid?
Talos went.
That's a good
Can
point,
we
yeah.
all go check on the kid?
I don't know if the kid wants to see me.
You might be right.
That's fair.
Right.
Did I
I'm gonna go-
give you inspiration for the blood rage thing?
I think you did.
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna go and walk over to Strength of Claw.
All right. So this conversation is happening. Talos, you're able to go over, and you see that there is a woman just kind of like in a crouched position, just kind of sitting beside the kid, and she's got like a wet towel, like a wet piece of cloth. Wet piece of cloth.
It's a piece of cloth.
That's Miko Tyson.
He's got a piece of cloth. Wet piece of cloth, and like a little thing of hot water. And she's just kind of like grabbing the back of his little gi and like picking him up and trying to shake him awake.
Okay. Would Cure Wounds or Lesser Restoration help him at all?
You could probably do well with Cure Wounds.
Would healing word help too?
No, not more than Cure Wounds. Cure Wounds is very powerful.
Second level.
It's kind of not a matter of that he has low hit points, is his rib cage might be shattered.
I thought you hit in the head.
No,
No.
it was no.
Okay, that's good. You might actually be dead.
Because I considered like this swing goes one of three ways: head, Vegeta Android Saga breaking the elbow, or like general ribs.
That's gonna do 5 points of health.
So you walk over and you present your holy symbol. He glows a little bit and he begins to just kind of stir. He inhales a heavy breath, and the woman just kind of places him on the ground, and he rolls over and he grabs onto his side and goes, "Ow!"
Gonna pointedly stare at you.
Has Breeze gotten over there yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot actually. My
Your class?
yes, my Disciple of Life. adds to the healing. So he also gets 3 more points.
Excellent. His ribs hurt a lot.
I figured.
Very much.
You did good out there.
And he says, "It doesn't feel like it.
Well, sometimes that's how it feels.
I don't think I want to keep doing this."
That is completely fair, actually.
He sits up, and the woman next to him stands up, and she begins to speak to you in a language you don't understand.
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
She just kind of looks at you, and there's a look of acknowledgement, and she nods, and she reaches down and just kind of grabs the scruff of the young one's neck and picks him up. Breeze, this is when you're able to walk over.
I'm gonna say, is she about to walk away with him?
Yes.
I'm gonna like tap on her and say, "Wait, can I talk to him for a second?"
She says, "Yes, of course." She just kind of turns and holds him up to you.
As he just
I'm gonna reach into my bag of holding. I'm gonna pull out my flute. I'm gonna give it to him and say, "I want you to have this." And I'm gonna also pull out the strength of Paul's rock that he gave me, and say, "This is from your father. I'd like to talk to you sometime tomorrow, and I'll teach you how to play."
And he just, like, with the one arm crossed his chest and holding onto his ribs, he just kind of reaches out and he takes the flute. When you bring it to him, he kind of tucks it between his elbow and his chest. And when you say about the rock, he pulls one hand off his rib, dropping the lute to the ground, and he kind of cups his paws together, and he takes the rock. And he just holds it very close to his mouth. And his eyes get big and begin to tear up. He looks at you and he says, "My ribs really hurt."
I'm sorry. I'm gonna have 3 healing pouches. I'm gonna pull one out and rub the salve very gently on his ribs.
When you reach for it, the woman pulls him away and says, "He'll be fine. He'll heal."
You're right.
All right.
I'm gonna pick up the flute that he dropped and give it to him again, so we can make sure he doesn't leave it.
You can just kind of like tuck it in his waistband.
I'll do that.
She gives a small bow to you and she walks off.
Oh,
Was that strength?
I was going to offer the healing fat thing that gives you temporary hit points, because I thought that they might get a better use of that than I would.
If you want to come over and offer that,
yeah.
You walk over and you just kind of hand it out to her.
And I say, I was given this by event merchant. It is supposedly contains healing magic.
And I'll translate.
Excellent. She looks at you curiously. She looks at the jar. And with one hand she takes the jar out, and then with the other she kind of places the boy in your hands. And then she puts the jar back. She says, "I'll need something bigger."
Let me see. Do I have anything?
It's gone right over your head, hasn't it?
No. I know what I'm doing. I don't think we have anything big enough. I'm going to rummage in my bag before I do that.
She says, "Oh, well, I've grown quite fond of him anyways." And she gives you a slight bow, and she walks away.
I don't know about you guys, but I am beat. I have an ear-splitting headache, and I think my shoulder got dislocated. I'm going to go to bed.
That sounds like a good idea.
I think tomorrow morning we should talk to Frisky about the challenge of the Sun God. And get that done underway as quickly as possible.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
That's what this whole thing was for, is so we could do that with him.
Right. This is about the time when the elderly Tabaxi, Namor Payne, comes to address the two of you. But before that, Talos and Cass, is there anything you want to do now?
I want to talk to her. I wanted to talk to my brother.
Oh, this is going to be so good.
Let's resolve it in whatever order seems prudent to the two of you.
I need like popcorn.
Mama Talos has some words.
I have some words
Papa
of my own.
Talos. Mama Talos. All right, there it is. Oh boy.
Have words for my twin brother that just betrayed me.
Yeah, like, just see Kaz, like, tiptoeing away, and Kaz is gonna go talk to him. Talos is like, hold up. I want you to apologize to that young boy.
He doesn't want to see me.
Apologize.
Can we do the apology tomorrow? Let him rest.
The two of them are having this discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Just doesn't have to be now. But I want you to apologize to him.
Okay.
That was completely unnecessary.
Look, I wasn't exactly myself, okay? And even, honestly, if I was, maybe it's best it happened like this. It was a competition. Maybe
It's best that you almost broke a young boy's ribs.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that maybe it's best that he learned in a competition setting that people take it seriously, even if he's just a kid.
There are better ways to do that.
Yeah, well, a lot of people don't care.
Oh, I see how that goes. Alright.
I'm not saying I don't care.
Oh, well, it's hard to disprove of that.
Look, I'm already having enough going on. I don't need this right now. I understand I messed up big. I always do. This is just another mess up. I'll apologize to the kid, though.
Alright, that's all I ask.
Okay.
All right. And you want to speak with Tribute? No. With Kaz.
Yes.
What is Kaz's stealth modifier?
He's proficient, so that's +4.
Okay. If you wish to find him, you're going to have to roll a perception check, as he sees he didn't expect things to go as they did, and he knows what is likely to come next, and he's doing his best to avoid that.
Man, that was real close to a 1.
That's... Hang on. Oh, I forgot to roll this.
Roll it in the box.
Okay.
That did all. Really, really.
That's an 8.
Okay. You get the idea that Kaz may have split town. You can't find him anywhere. If you want to try one last time, I'll give you one more roll.
Same exact number.
Wow. This is a lucky day for Kaz. This is his very lucky day. You search around town, and you are unable to find him.
What kind of check would it be to understand that Kaz was involved in this? Would it be wisdom?
Roll an insight.
Insight? 18.
18. Okay, that's a lot. What you do know from the previous conversation automatically was that Kaz had lied about Cass volunteering.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of initially the best information you can get. But...
Cass also said that she wasn't in the right state of mind.
Right. With that idea of the right state of mind, that insight check, when you were kind of... When she went and spoke on that, you're just kind of judging that there might have been this idea in your mind where it was like, this could be an excuse. She could just be flexing on a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But you see that she was very genuine about her not feeling in complete control of her actions.
Mm-hmm.
Though you have never really experienced Kaz doing something that would be like even relative to mind control, you do get the idea that there is always, when speaking of Kaz and Cass, twins are weird.
True that. I would like to do a perception check to see if I can find him.
Okay.
Alright. That is 22.
Okay. So, Cass is walking around looking for him. She goes to kind of the front of the village, looks around where you've come in from two different places, kind of the front of the village. You see her just kind of casually glancing back towards where this large temple is and where there's a lot of fires. You decide to go back towards where the musicians have been setting up and practicing their death metal growls. And you see behind, you kind of look behind the temple, you see that there is there's a table that a lot of large, heavy leaves, like palms, have been laid over, and in order to kind of protect whatever's underneath of it. And you see it kind of rustle around a little bit. So you walk over, and as you just kind of pull them aside, there's this... It actually looks like a very well-made wooden workbench. Kind of something very out of place in this village of, like, vined-together furniture. This is a well-put-together elven wood bench. And Kaz, who is just kind of in the fetal position, underneath, like, in the bottom part of the bench, trying to be quiet, you see that he's brought food with him. And he says, when you open and you see him, he says, occupied, and he reaches and he pulls the palm back down.
I'm going to open it again and go, I would like to speak with you.
He says to you, do you speak Elvish?
Nope.
He says something in Elvish and smiles and shrugs his shoulders, and he closes the palm again.
I'm going to climb under there with him.
Okay, so next to him, this is a pretty large bench. Next to him, you just kind of climb in. Mm-hmm. You are pretty much you're condensing your body as much as you can into a very small, like your chin is touching your knees.
Yep.
But he's in the exact same position. So the two of you are sitting boxed together, and there's really not a lot of room for you to look over and look at each other. But you've squeezed in there enough that you don't think he can easily peel himself out. All right, so you've squeezed in. What would you like to say?
Did you have anything to do with that horrible onslaught of that child?
No. Deception. Roll it.
Insight?
Emily?
Oh, yeah. Now you roll good.
Listen, the gods are favoring Kaz right now.
I forgot you don't roll this for Kaz.
Ha-ha!
That's still...
Did you roll your insight?
No, not yet. I was trying to see what the roll was to beat. Oh, damn. Alright. That's one of my proficiencies, though.
Go ahead and have advantage because you've done a little bit of detective work. You've done a little,
Alright, that's much better. Let's see, that is 23. No, 22.
He got 19.
You can obviously tell that he's hiding something.
Just why?
Would you believe a devil told me to do it?
Not unless you were the devil.
Okay, well, I'm not. Or am I? No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I want to tell you it's for a really good reason.
Oh, I'd love to hear that really good reason.
Talos, can I confide in you?
Yes, you may.
It wasn't. I thought it'd be really funny for my sister to sing in front of everybody.
Okay.
That's it.
That explains a lot.
That's it.
And
She was obviously going to win whatever fight she was in. Like, given.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't going to get hurt.
Unfortunately, combat came first.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. Or, did you think this guy was going to drag a kid out into this?
I did not. And I find it very unfortunate.
Yeah, how was I supposed to know a child would be dragged into this? It was just going to be some schmuck. She was going to bap him around a little bit. It's fine. It's what she does. And then she was going to sing something, and, we'd all have a laugh.
Well, your sister's not taking this too well. I talked to her already, and she seems pretty upset. Even more so that I've made her more upset, but you know what? I feel like you should talk to her.
Well, I feel like you're responsible for her being more upset, so you back her down from more upset, and then I'll take her the rest of the way.
If anything, I think I helped your cause.
Is that real? Is that real? Does he really think that?
No, not really.
All right, roll a deception. Roll his insight.
11.
That is 15.
Alright, I didn't help per se, but that's your sister. She needs you right now to explain why you did this. Because you know what? I know you weren't intending for that child to get horribly beaten. I don't think anyone was, honestly. And just because you made her do it doesn't mean that you're not guilty.
I think Red Claw was. He's the bad guy.
Oh, I definitely agree for getting a child into this challenge, but that's besides the point.
No, I think that's exactly the point. If you go tell her that, she'll blame him. I'll sleep under here for the night, which is punishment as it is. It's terrible under here. And in the morning, it'll be fine.
I don't believe that's how it'll work.
We're twins. I know. Basically. Exactly. It's exactly how it'll work.
Are you afraid of your sister?
Are you kidding? Did you see what she did to that kid? I'm not much bigger than that kid.
I will accompany you. I have healing spells.
You are slightly bigger than me, which makes you slightly bigger than that kid.
Slightly bigger. How big is Kaz?
I imagine him like 6'3".
Oh, okay. Then yeah, we actually are about the same height. Okay, I was like, wow.
So she'll whoop your ass, and then she'll whoop my ass, and you know who's not in the mood to deal with me? Tribute, the only person who could help us.
I don't believe it'll come to that.
What?
And you know what?
That Tribute will come and help us? I don't think so either.
No, I believe that she won't fight us. But if it does, I will take the hits and you run. How about that? Does it sound like a good plan?
No, I'm first, you're second, if she has the leftover. I said, you go talk to her.
I already did.
Well, go tell her I'm sorry, and that I didn't plan for that to happen, and then I'll hide till morning.
No, I believe we should have this talk tonight.
Okay, we're going to settle this. Roll a persuasion.
Alright.
And I will have you roll for Kaz.
15.
Let's see, what is being terrified? What would that roll be? Roll a guilt check. Add his guilt modifier.
Madness, no.
Just roll and add charisma.
17.
No.
Oh, wait, no, it's not 17.
It's 18.
18. I looked at my sheet like, yeah, that's what it is.
So you say this. He looks you dead in the eye, and he takes off running. He just scrambles out of this thing, and he just takes off.
That's fine. She'll find him better that way.
He's going to hide again.
You're welcome.
So what was your last perception check?
It was an 8.
It was an 8. All right, let's see.
He's more or less trying to run. He's not focused about being stealthy yet.
What was his modifier?
4?
7.
What can I say except you're welcome?
So he just scrambles out, knocking a bunch of stuff off of this table. He goes running around the side of the temple, and as he just goes running because he assumes Talos is chasing him, he just looks, and he's thinking the one place he could probably hide out is with the fur trader, is with the hunter, because he went hunting with him. Surely he's curried favor there. And as he goes running out, you just turn around and you just see him sprinting across in front of the temple.
I'm gonna run after him.
All right. So the last thing we're gonna do is opposing athletics checks. What is his athletics?
Well, it's a... He has a -1 in strength, but he's proficient, so I think it's a +1.
Is that it would be a 0. Because half of his proficiency is 1, and he has a -1.
I mean, like, his proficiency bonus is +2. It says 1 next to...
Is he proficient with athletics?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, is he?
Yeah.
It'll be a +1. All right, roll your athletics.
That is 23.
With a 19, the two of you show off. Clearly, there is a physical difference between the two of you, and what courses you have chosen to take in a physical manner. But the two of you have both taken very impressive strides to fill out the bodies you inhabit. But you have done more. And as he goes running across, you see him lit up by this fire. You take off in a sprint. And when you kind of turn this corner and he turns on, so he goes, no, 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 no. And you just dive and you grab the bottom of his legs and he just, boom, slams right to the ground.
I'm not gonna beat you up. Stop running.
he's kind of like covering his head in his face. He's like, you're not?
No.
Sweet.
Don't want to beat anyone up, but
oh damn, no. As he runs, he yells, blood rage! Just to piss off Nico. Alright, so you've got him pinned.
Why would you do all that?
Would you believe it's because I love and believe in you?
I mean, it's a really twisted way of showing it.
Well, that's probably worse.
Just, why all the... What were you trying to accomplish in the first place by doing all that?
It was going to be really funny to hear you sing.
That was it?
That's it.
So there was no other motive?
Nope. I thought it'd be funny to hear you sing. Because you'd stand up there and everybody would be looking at you, and then you'd be like, and that would be very funny.
Yeah, well, I am a horrible singer.
Yeah. That's why I'm good.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, we got split up. I also got the good looks.
Rumble. Yeah, you did, buddy.
That's it.
Okay.
I did not know they were going to wheel a child out for that. I would have chosen Adella. Because you could see her doing that, right?
The kid be dead.
I mean, again, like, I look. Yes, probably. But, like, you going up and, like, swatting a kid, it's clearly something. Like, if Adella ran up and swatted a kid like that, we'd all go like, oh, yeah, that's right. Yep, correct. That's Adella. That's just, people would be like, why? It's Adella. I don't know. So, like, just, you know?
Okay.
You hit him good, though. Like, good job.
I'm not proud of it.
Oh, bad job. Bad
mean,
job. Not good.
Honestly, you know me. I probably still hit the kid, but not that hard. It was a competition.
Yeah.
But...
And to be fair, I probably could have dropped that spell sooner.
Yeah. You also didn't have to go behind my back and do all the shady lie to Breeze and...
Well, the subterfuge is how I have fun.
Yeah, well, sometimes it hurts.
Oh. What if I do it to someone else next time?
Make sure no one will get hurt, and it'll be fine. Like
I will double check to make sure children are not involved. Next time, I go behind someone's back and encourage them.
Okay.
Promise.
Okay.
He says, mud hug?
Mud hug.
Alright, you hug it out. Nikos, any last thing to do with your day? You want to run over and kick him really hard now that he's on the ground?
It's tempting. It's very tempting. But I was actually going to see if I could find Breeze.
I'm in my tent.
Yeah.
You're in the community tent where everyone goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to step into the tent and I'm going to be like, hey, are you feeling any better?
Nah.
No.
Not yet.
No.
Good performance, though. I didn't get to talk to you before the challenge. You were freaking amazing. I did not know you could sing like that.
I did not know I could scream like that. I just let it all out.
I think you started a movement out here.
I think I did. It's really weird. Because I had no idea I was even going to be anywhere, and now here I am screaming and singing, and, like, I haven't done anything like that in my life. I had some feel lessons when I was a kid. My parents made me take it, and then you know, I liked it, but I was never there. I never really kept up with it, and now it's just I felt like something was there, you know, like something was like inside of me and I let it out.
That's how real music happens.
It was weird. I keep saying it's weird, but it was amazing.
It was. You're freaking natural. You should keep that up. You know, I've been talking to Kaz about this, but he's been kind of wishy-washy about it because of his sister. But I think me and you we could start a band.
I think we could.
We got to think of a band name.
We do.
But I think this is something that'll happen.
Yes, this is.
Can you play any instruments?
Like I said, I took the viol a while ago. I'll have to try it again really soon. But like, I could do a fiddle or something.
Sounds great.
All right. You need to find one though.
All right, let's do that tomorrow. I need some rest.
Yes.
At that time, there's a knock on the small doorway. And
what now? Let me sleep.
It is Namor Payne. He walks in and he says, Breeze, I hate to interrupt your rest or your conversation.
Then stop interrupting it.
I shall make this brief. Congratulations on winning your fight.
Thank you.
It was admirable, and you had proved not Tabaxi's strength, but the cunning of the Tabaxi.
Thanks.
And I'm very, very impressed. With that being said, with the banishment of Red Claw...
Is he outside the village already?
We don't know where he went.
Because he's a pretty big guy. I think it'd be better for him to stay, because I don't know what he's going to be up to outside. And also, I kind of want to talk to him.
If he has any decency left in him, he shall take his exile with dignity, and he shall return in time with apologies to Mialo. And perhaps then Mialo will accept him back.
Okay.
But this, of course, means the loss of his home, his tribe, and his immortality. A bit. But, that being said,
I do feel a bit responsible for that.
You are not. He is responsible for his actions. He disgraced himself in front of Mialo. Not you.
Yeah, you got a point.
Now, he was Mialo's protection, his mortal connection to the material plane, and Mialo was scheduled to go through by dawn. Tomorrow, he is to enter the temple. He is to take Sun God's labors and ascend. And I'm afraid without Red Claw, he may find this to be difficult. And I'm sure he would ask, if he was not so beautifully weeping on the stairs, that you and perhaps some of your friends, your perhaps overambitious friend, would join him and help him through his labors.
You said at dawn, right?
At dawn, yes.
Alright, so let us sleep. We'll find him in the morning.
He will be at the base of the temple.
Okay.
I too will be there. If you do join us, bring who you can. And you will brave the temple, and you shall see a mortal coil shed, and the soul ascend to godhood.
Wait, is he gonna have to die for this?
Well,
you say mortal coil shed. It sounds like he has to die and be reborn and something like that.
It was. I'd like to think it's poetic, but that is the way it has been described. Mialo goes in, and when he is ascended...
Can you stop calling him Mialo? His name's Frisky.
I'm afraid...
Frisky is the name he was given, and the name that I've known him as. I know Mialo is the name of the sun god, but you've met him. He's no god. At least not yet.
Oh, he slaps you.
Damn.
Oh yeah, he just slaps you across. He says his honorific, his name, his title is Mialo, the sun god of the Maztecan people, your people that you have at least claimed. And you will show him the respect he deserves as your god. Do you understand?
I guess.
Now, he will go through, and it is the utmost imperative that he ascends. Whether he will die or not, it has been described historically by Mialo that he sheds his mortal coil in favor of a more robust visage.
Right.
Now, if you're not aware, Mialo is not immortal. He lives a life with his people, and he dies to return to the sun to keep it moving around us. It is his sacrifice and his pleasure, and we are to aid him in both.
So, in this upcoming challenge, we're leading him to become the sun god. We're not leading him to ultimately his death. Because I knew him for a decent amount before he came here. He is a dear friend of mine.
As far as I have known, in the Mialos that I have spoken with, they are never the same after Ascension. So perhaps if whoever this form is now, perhaps enjoy your time with him, as he may not be the same after Ascension. I trust to see you and whomever you can gather in the morning.
Okay.
Good night, Breeze.
Don't hit me again.
If you should spill such heresies, a slap to the face will be the kindness you will receive.
Just know, I respect you. I like you. If you hit me again, I will hit you back.
He'll acknowledge you, and he will walk out.
Good night.
That was the politest way I've ever heard the "I will put the hands to you."
As he walks out, Kaz and Cass are walking up. Talos, you were able to catch up with him.
I just like to imagine he booked it to get away from me. Talos hits his head on the table and then slowly climbs out from under the table.
Like he goes to get boom, ow!
Not even really chasing him. He's just hauling ass. That's fine. She'll catch him. I'm gonna crawl out from under this table now.
He actually makes the effort to try to get out, but when he does, his knees are too close to his chest. So when he does, he just kind of bangs against his knees, lays down, rolls out.
That's exactly how it happens. Yep.
So you've all met back up. This small hut that you all kind of inhabit, layered with pillows. You see that Tribute is sitting over with Listel. Listel looks a bit flushed. He looks a little bit pale for a tiefling of such red skin. If you should go over to speak to him, he'll just say that he's feeling a bit under the weather. It's no big deal. Tribute just kind of nods, and she says that there's no illness that she can't handle, as her lay on hands are very effective for this particular kind of thing. Adella is just kind of sitting. When you walk in, there's kind of like a step, like a large step that goes around. You can kind of walk around on. She's just kind of sitting, just kind of longing, staring at her cannon. Couple kids go walking by, and she yells at them. Just too close to her cannon. The night will pass, and when you wake up, you see that Listel is resting comfortably, but both Tribute and Adella are not around. The morning has come. You see both Tribute and Adella are missing. Listel is still pretty heavily asleep, though he seems to be unhindered. Bringing it back, but the night previous, Listel was sick. Tribute and Nimor have been spending a good amount of time. Do you think there was a lot for you to say to Nimor? Do you think there's a conversation that you and he would have, Tribute?
No.
Agreed.
Not the talkative type.
No, I didn't think so. But he does explain to you that there are creatures, bugs, snakes, things of the manner that have venoms and poisons. It could be very simple as a bug bite that puts you out for a few days. We have very little problems with this, as our gift protects us fairly well. He should be fine, but he should have some bedside assistance. By his advanced age, it could be worse. His fever will break, and you should know. If anything changes, you are welcome to come fetch me in my tent. He bows to you, and he leaves. Everyone is settled into bed, and you're just kind of sitting in an unoccupied space near Listel. You sit up as long as you can, and you just begin to gently fade to sleep. And you're greeted with a dream. A memory.
Oh, great. My favorite.
This is a young tiefling girl. She is in a carriage going across some great distance she's not quite old enough to grasp. Sitting across from her are two very happy, laughing tiefling parents. They exchange whispers, and the woman gets up and walks out. The man walks to the door, and he extends his hand, and he says, "Come, Aria. We have a gift for you."
I'm excited.
You take his hand.
Absolutely.
You're brought to the door, and you see in front of you this great blue landscape, seemingly endless where it sits. Small bit of sand lays in front of it. You see your mother already out, having pulled up her dress and kicked off her shoes. She's dancing now in these waters. This is the beach, and this is the ocean, what you've never seen. And as this excitement builds in you, your father takes a knee, and he says, "I have a favor to ask of you. The first time I brought your mother here, I had come the night before, and I had built her a sandman."
What?
A sandman, child. Much like a snowman, I gathered sand into balls. I found sticks that had washed up from the ocean. I gave him arms, eyes, and a head. And I presented him as her perfect suitor.
That's silly.
It was. And I thought she loved him more than she did me. In fact, when he proposed, I pushed him over. I will distract your mother. Go build that sandman so he can see our happy family.
Like ready to go with excitement, scattering in the sand.
Just releases your shoulder, and you take off like a bullet. Running out, you start gathering sand up into a mound. This is the best you can do with sand, after all. You see your mother and your father. They're both dancing now in this water, this seemingly empty beach. You find sticks. You find shells. You give them a bent elbow down and one straight out, another arm, just a shell that's way too big for one eye, and just a large rock for the other. You just carve a smile out. And when you turn around to call for your father, he's not there, and it's dark. You turn around to look at the only person left here is the Sandman, and you see this grotesque amalgamation of severed limbs stacked together, seemingly frozen in place, to make this monster of a being that stands perfectly straight. And you're snapped back to this terrible reality. And as you're looking at this, the mouth cracks and it draws in breath. Aria. Adella. The fight had ended. It was a fair climax, but the rest of it didn't interest you terribly. This particular culture may for a time amused you, but the novelty has worn off. You decide to do a little bit of exploring, as your want to go and swim has kind of taken you. Though you have not been directed to where the ocean is, you decide to go to the one place where you know there's water, the nearby swamp that you had trudged through to get to this tree. This is a 4-hour walk. And as you've made the walk, you've been harried by a few things, a couple big spiders, a snake. Nothing that you weren't able to turn into, or bigger, or better to you, throw an ice knife and gouge with your trident. You eventually arrive at this swamp. What do you do at the swamp?
Well, I would immediately see that, it's probably not very clear water.
It's not?
No. Use my shape water to clear it up. So I can at least see what I'm swimming into.
As you clear just the area you're in, you just see the soaked grass and sediment at the bottom, and it just quickly, like blood, fills this pure water again, turning it murky. You walk further into it, and the best you can find is it comes up to your knees, and you're not finding what you're looking for here. There's dissatisfaction in this water that you have found. And as you're walking, you see something rise like a snake out of the water. You know what this is. This is some sort of... This is like a water spout. No wind around it. This is just some sort of construction from water and air that is twisting and pulling it up. It grabs your attention and seems to just drop down. You come closer to it and you see a bit further away, it grows once again and drops. And as this happens a few times, you eventually find yourself in chest-deep water. And you find this great large part of the swamp where all of these water spouts, these small snakes of water, are beginning to twirl and spin. They begin to just form into shapes as if they're trying to understand what they can make. And as they do, they eventually come together in the middle and they start creating boxes. And boxes on top of boxes. And some of them are making cylindrical tubes. But this seems rudimentary. And the boxes begin to shake down a bit rounder. They seem to be constructing something. And with a little bit of time, you see that a great palace has been made. The water nearly still floating in the air. A great palace of a large building with a rounded top, 2 spires on each end, and what seems on the back, a beautiful veranda that looks over the rest of the swamp. And as it rotates to you, you see 2 hands coming from the water, holding the veranda up. And one of the hands looks similar to the drawings and carvings that you had seen of that masculine figure underwater in Thundra's tower. This appears to be the arm of Traqueus holding up this strange balcony. What do you want to ask about this? Coming off the balcony is a waterfall. Less fine detail there. The other hand is still there. It doesn't look familiar, but you can feel racing in your mind something beginning. Back on the beach, monster of a being is beginning to pull itself together. These separate limbs, one longer than the other. The dwarven torso sitting on top of elven and human legs. This head that is just from the neck clearly has been cut off. There's been a massacre on a nearby beach. These are washed up remains. The head looks to you, and with that voice it says, "It's good to see you again. Our last encounter was brief, though not terrible."
Still a child.
No, you look down and you have no sword, no armor, no holy symbol, no focus. You're naked. You just have clothes on your back.
I'm gonna kind of like ball my hands into fists because I don't know what this thing is, but it's terrifying, and I will throw hands if I have to. But I'm not gonna like make a move to attack just yet.
Relax. I'm not here to fight. I'm not here to control you. I'm not here to even argue.
Why are you here?
I'm here to make a proposition. A business deal. You see, I have a right to talk to you. Now I'm exercising that right. You see, Tyr is moving your piece onto the board. And I want to get to you before he does. Because when Tyr plays chess, he uses kings as pawns. And I don't want to see you be thrown away for nothing.
What do you mean by that?
Tyr has a bigger board than everyone else. Than other gods, than even the greater archdevils. Because Tyr knows something that everyone else doesn't know. And Tyr has a great following of very powerful beings. Like you. And soon, he will take those beings, and he will throw them under the foot of war. With who, I don't know. Why, I don't know. But I don't want you thrown under the boot of his battles. They're not yours. They are the conflicts of the gods, not of the mortals. I am merely coming to hopefully save you from the fate of others.
And what are your battles then? What board are you playing with?
My board is much smaller. Consider it like an open hand of poker. I play a game that is very simple. Me and a few others. We shuffle our decks. We gain some allies, we lose some. We get our names spread, they're set in secret. We make sure that when Tyr comes looking for his soldiers, when Tyr comes looking for war, someone is on the other side, keeping this part, this plane, from being dragged into it. We have interests here, and they do not involve Tyr bringing some universal destruction onto the material plane.
Tyr does not bring destruction, he brings order.
Order I agree with. I like that. I frankly like that about Tyr. And one day, he and I will sit down and we'll talk about order. He and I see eye to eye on a great many things. Power, order. But he's not bringing order. If he is playing on this board, we're not playing with order. If he's bringing whatever is on the other side to this realm, this isn't order. This is war. He is bringing something terrible to the forefront of existence. I don't want that to be you. I would like to give you something easier, simpler, a life that is not drenched in blood. I'd like to give you a life that is drenched in gold, in silk, in the finest wines, wrapped in the arms of your loved one. That is what I want to give you. That is what you deserve, if you don't choose to run under the boot of Tyr.
How can you promise that? That's impossible.
Impossible? No, nothing is impossible. I am a living construct of mangled corpses that you stitch together. That is not impossible. I am a businessman. I don't say things unless I can make them happen. I don't make deals that I can't fulfill. I tell you that I will give you one of those things, or all of those things. I will deliver. My reputation is at stake.
Men make promises all the time they can't keep. I don't see how, despite being a pile of stitched-together corpses, your words should be any different.
Do you think me a man, Tribute?
You're something. Anything that has thoughts can lie.
I am no man. I am greater. I have ascended beyond this mortal plane, these physical coils that you inhabit for whatever selfish reasons. No, I am beyond that. And I do lie. I lie all the time. We all do. You're right. That's part of the game. But what I'm willing to do is put the truth in paper. An infernal contract. In your blood and mine. Bound by the greater judges of the 9 hells. You see, if I lie to you, you can do something about it. You can go to someone, and they will make it right. If your God gave you power, and you used it for a reason he doesn't like, but you felt was right, he'll take it away. And you will be left powerless with enemies. And who would you go to if Tyr decided to strip you of your power?
Certainly not you. I don't need anyone's help to make this happen.
Obviously you do. If you didn't need anyone, he would be dead already. And you wouldn't be toting around the agenda of someone who doesn't have the courtesy to speak to you. Man to being. If you have your faith, then all I can do is give you this proposal, and you go. You fight Tyr's war. You drench your life in blood. Find nothing but battle and misery and death for those around you until the sweet mercy has come to claim you. But I hope, in that time, we will meet again, and you will make a better choice than your father did.
I don't need your words of temptation. My faith in Tyr has brought me this far. Take me a little further, and I'm going to strike at him.
Make an attack.
Natural fucking. You're not going to look at this. It's a natural fucking 20.
You step forward, and as you punch him, the whole body falls to pieces. And as the body drops down, The limbs fly off in a burst of flame. A small scroll appears. Adella, this rotating image of what looks like a palace has appeared. What are your thoughts? What do you see? What do you ask? What do you want to know? What memories are you grasping at to pull back?
Where is this?
The water underneath pulls up. Underneath this balcony begins to form, and it glows green.
Alice still around, or is this just...
When you ask that, the balcony drops, just watered down, and only the palace remains. The balcony is gone. Roll an investigation.
Okay. 18.
As you kind of look at the back of this palace more, you see that this water is starting to ice and creating fine details. You see where that balcony was, where it attached, you see it looks jagged and broken, and where there was an opening seems to have been sealed off.
Look at it closer and see what else I can see of it, really, because I really don't have any questions.
As you're looking, the best thing you can tell is that it doesn't look like the balcony has a clean break. It doesn't look like it was kind of removed tactically. It looks like something may have happened to it. That it's gone now.
What happened to the balcony?
The balcony from water rises back up, and it reattaches to this model. This false door drops away and splashes to the ground. And as you look more, you see that the swamp begins to just kind of twist and turn, and two waves rise up and crash together, destroying the balcony. You see that the large masculine arm to the left still holds, and the soft arm to the side falls down. It doesn't drop into water, it doesn't break apart. It falls as one solid piece into the water.
Happened because of Sundra's capture?
No response.
I've got...
Okay. You spend a little bit more time looking, and it eventually drops down. And that's it. You both make your way back to the Tabaxi town. You're able to arrive in time. Listel is back up. He's sitting, he's eating. You're told that they have gone into the temple to take the labors, and they should be out sometime. It could be a couple hours, it could be a couple days. But you are offered a place, you are offered meals, and you can just kind of relax for that day. Contemplate what you'd seen.
Axe.
Did you take the scroll?
Not after I punched him.
Was that the reason where you're like, oh, I would take it, but I did assault the guy. I don't feel
it might
right
be a mean
taking
message, like assaulting me or something. Yeah, you know.
Take your oath of vengeance. You're a vengeance paladin.
Yes.
When you sit down and pray and meditate, your symbol glows bright, and you feel this feeling of pride and this feeling of justification, and you feel this attachment deeper now to Tyr.
Skydad is proud of me.
Skydad is so proud.
So your day goes by. The temple opens in...
Thanks for listening to today's episode. If you have any questions or want to talk about your favorite part of the campaign so far, you can find us on Twitter at Quips and Crits or at Quips and Crits on Facebook. And make sure you rate and subscribe on whatever platform you're listening to. But check out our Tumblr or Reddit for character profiles, maps, essays, and just a bunch of other shit from the... Ooh, I swore. And a bunch of other stuff from the cast. Today's music is brought to you by Leon Lischner and friends, and Dennis Murphy's Polka. Links in description.
Long white robe, down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside.